ready.
It's on.
Hi, my name is Bill, and I own a 1998 28 Mako. It's a center console boat, about 4,500 pounds dry weight on the boat. And I have a repower in 2007 with the Suzuki 300 engine. It's done great work for the last 11 years, but I've got some problems with it now, and I've decided to repower it. Suzuki just came out with a brand new 350 that I'm going to have put on. And so what I'm going to do over the course of the next few days is show you the cost of how much it is to repower the engine, and then we'll take it out and do some test rides, try to look at about how many gallons per hour it does, so that there's a little bit more information, so that if you're looking to repower yours, hopefully you'll know a little bit more. Thank you. So last time we were on the video, you saw my old 300 Suzuki, and they've now put the new 300 Suzuki on. My price for it was $19,995, let's say $20,000, and then it was $4,000 for the new gauges, all the rigging and installation. So literally it was $24,000, and in tax, I live in Florida, so it was about $25,000 and like $50 is what the engine cost me in here. You can see it's massive compared to the 300. I have to admit, I am about 5'8", 5'9", and you can see this thing is just dwarfs me in here. It actually is much bigger than a 300. I was surprised how big it is. I have not had it in the water other than I dropped it in the ramp and drove it around to my boat lift that you see it on. The water is a little low right now. I live in an area where you need the water to be up to get out, but I'm going to take it out and we're going to do some test drives on it, and we'll compare it to my old 300 and my original twin 225s, kind of in gas mileage, speed, and the rest of it in here. So I'm excited to actually get on it. Here it is in white. I think it looks beautiful. Notice those twin props. They are kind of amazing, and if you push one, you can see they both turn, so they're not independent. They work together in this thing. So I'm excited. We'll see you soon. Thank you. In the next minute or two on the video, what you're going to see is a shot of the Suzuki gauge. And I've got it there. If you take a look at it, what you'll see at the very top in large numbers is kind of gallons or fuel used, which is gallons used since I last filled up in the thing. You can pretty much ignore that. Below that in big letters, you're going to see how many gallons per hour how many miles per gallon, forgive me, how many miles per gallon it's going. So you see the numbers like 2.3, 2.6, something like that. Below that in a little arc, you'll see the RPMs. So if you pause the video, you should be able to read the RPMs. On the left-hand side of that little arc, in smaller numbers, a little harder to read, is going to be the miles per hour. And if you go over to the right side and then look up the right kind of edge of the screen, you'll see how many gallons per hour. So you'll see 15 or 16 gallons per hour that I'm using in it. But again, what I've tried to do in that is show you at 4,000, at 4,500, at 5,000 for this boat. And again, we're talking about 4,500, maybe $6,500, 4,500 dry weight, probably about 6,500. Right now when I'm running it with gas and everything else, and the engine, of course, on it. So you get a sense of how many gallons per hour I'm burning in it. So again, that's what you should see in the next. Bye now. That was fantastic. Hi, so look, maybe you can see Matt Lachey behind me. So there we were, we just went about 50 miles around. Yesterday I took it around 2, so I have a little over 100 miles now on the engine. I used, going around this 50 miles, 16 gallons, which is not bad. So what is that? I'll figure it out a little bit later in there. But actually I'm very, very happy. As I think I said earlier, when this boat was originally bought, I bought it used. It was in 1998. I bought it in 2005 with twin 225 Mercury Optimaxes on it. And it would get 0.6 miles to the gallon. I mean, the fuel consumption on this was unbelievable. Also, when one's broke, the others broke. So I decided to repower with the Suzuki 300 DF. That was brand new in 2007. I had 11 years out of it, almost 11 years out of it. And I was very happy with it. I brought it in for one of its 100-hour services, and there were some problems. One of those ones where they say we're not quite sure what's going on, so we're going to start doing things. It's going to cost a lot of money, but we're not quite sure we can fix it. So I decided 11 years. I want a boat. At my age, I want a boat that's dependable, a motor that's dependable. So I said, let me go look at the new Suzuki. I think I told you earlier that the engine cost me $20,000. It was $4,000 for the all the new wiring, the gauges, all of that, and installed. So they didn't charge me a dime more. When you add tax on it, I think I paid $25,050. And here I am out less than a week later on the water. The thing will now do about 45 to 50 miles an hour. It appears towards the top end, which is much higher than I got before, about 40 on a 300. The bow rise is just amazing. This thing here, you can see the water with my old 300. It will go up where for 5-6 seconds you lose complete sight of what's in front of you on it. So I'm much happier with the bow rise on the boat. It just literally jumps out of the water. Remember, this has the twin propellers that we've got on this one. So I think that's, it's a big advantage. A lot of torque and a lot of water that it's pushing out in the back of it. But it moves up to 50, moves from 4,000 to 4,500 easily. I seem to be getting about 2.6 miles per gallon. My best with my old 300 was about 2.2 miles per gallon. So on this boat here, we were talking somewhere about 20% better in terms of fuel. But it also, and it just is the way this boat tends to run best at about 4,200 RPM. With the old 300, I was typically doing about 29 to 30 miles an hour. On this one, I'm doing somewhere about 32 to 33 miles an hour. So that's about a 10% increase in speed too. So all in all, it seems like this engine is probably about 30% more efficient than my old 300 DF. So again, this is I have about 6 hours on the engine right now. We'll come back later and tell you a little bit more and see if those numbers hold up. But I'm extremely happy with it. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you want to get in touch with me, look at my Instagram page listed below. Thank you. Bye now.